Hello, good morning. This is our video 2, and we want to continue from where we left off. When we met last time, we were able to do a few things. One, we were able to create layers, and then we were able to draw on A3 paper. We moved on to drawing a borderline and a title block. Thereafter, we set up DIMSTY, and we moved on to filling our title block, and then creating an A3 layout before saving it as a DWG. Finally, being able to save it as a template, which was our main objective. And then I was able also to demonstrate how to open that template. So in lesson 2, we're going to pick up from where we left. We're going to open a template, and then we're going to draw a figure. And this is the figure that we wish to draw. So I want to draw this figure. And in order to draw this figure, we're going to introduce some new commands. Apart from the commands we used, we're going to use XLine today, and then we're also going to use Chamfer, and finally Fillet. And then once the drawing is complete, we're going to save it as a PDF, which can then be sent via email in form of submission or printed as a hard copy and also submitted. Once we have achieved that, we shall have achieved the objective of the class. So let's start. So here we are. Let us go to click on A and come and click on Open. Once we click on Open, let us click on Drawing. We want to open up a drawing. Files of type should be template again, and then we should go to where we saved our file. So this is where we saved our file under 101, and we're going to click on Drawing Template. So select it and then click on Open. And when it opens up like this. So everything is here exactly as we left off from our previous class. So check out the first video if you've not already watched it. It is from that we continue to this. So come and check if our layers are still there. All our layers are still here that we created. Again, you can come here and hover for a bit and move out to layout 1, which we created last time, and our layout is still intact. So everything is in order. So let us go back to model, and this is where we want to start coming up with our drawing. So this is what we want to draw. Alright, this is what we want to draw. And in order to do that, we're going to use the commands that I just showed you a minute ago. There's the XLines, the Fillet, and the Chamfer. So I'm going to have this on a second screen as I come up with a drawing. I'll also request you to have this drawing on a second screen so that as you're drawing and we're talking about the dimensions, you can be able to see what we're doing. So here we are. The first thing we want to do is to create 2 X lines, one horizontal and one vertical. Before we do that, come here, click. We're going to change the layer to construction layer. Make sure you're in construction layer, don't change anything else. And then just type XLine and click Enter. It will ask us to specify a point. So when it asks you to specify a point, come to the command line down here and click on horizontal. That is going to give us a horizontal XLine like this. Move it. We can have it as close to the bottom as possible of our paper. We can have it here, for example. Click there, left click there, and then press Escape. You can repeat that again, but for a vertical line. So type XL. XLine will come, then click on Enter, choose a vertical XLine, and you can have this one maybe at this particular point here, and then Escape. So you're wondering why I've left some space here and some space at the bottom. This space is for the purposes of dimensioning. We're going to use this for dimensioning. So now that we have the 2 XLines, we want to start our drawing. So this is our drawing. This is what we want to draw. So from this point, from this XLine that is here, I'm going to offset a distance of 110. And then from here, I'm going again to offset a distance of 215. Type the offset command, just type O, Enter, and we're going to start with 110. Enter, and we're going to select this as the object of reference, and this is 110, we offset of it. And then Escape, and then we're going to offset a distance of 215. Enter. And then click from this point again and offset the distance of 215. Escape. Back to this drawing. From this particular point, we need to offset a distance of 52 to get to this point. That is from the bottom. And then from the top, we need to offset a distance of 25 from here. Again, from here, a distance of 75. And then from this 75, we're going to offset a distance of 85. Let us do that. So offset again. First, we offset 52. Enter. So 52 is from here. Move it inside and then you click, left click there. Escape. And then from this point again, you offset a distance of 25. Offset. Enter. 25. Enter. So we offset from here a distance of 25. Escape again. Then from that point again, from this point again, let us offset a distance of 75. Enter. So click on it. Offset a distance of 75. Escape. So before we proceed, you can realize that the lines are very many. And it is very hard for us to be able to know what dimension is what. So we're going to do something briefly. Come to the layer of dimensioning. We're going to create XLines for dimensioning, where we're going to insert dimensions that are only going to help us during drawing. But these dimensions we're going to delete as soon as our drawing is complete. These are for purposes of helping us drawing. So type XL, enter, and then we choose the horizontal line, and let us have it below here. You can see it's our cyan line. Escape. We do a second one. We need a vertical one again. You can put it outside here and click here and escape. So we're having it as close as possible to this one so that we can dimension and be able to see. So come here and click on this dimension here. And let us pick the dimension from this one. So I'm going to use horizontally, I'm going to use this blue line, this cyan line for reference. And for vertical, I'm going to use this cyan line here again for reference as we dimension vertically. So let us pick the dimension from here all the way to this point. That is 215. And we can have it, let's say here. But this dimension is extremely small. So what we do, escape, type DIMSTY, and let us alter some things there. So go to modify and come and click on symbols and arrows. Our arrow size should be 2.5. And then come and click on text tab. Text height should be 5.0. This text placement should be outside the dimension line. Horizontal should be centered. Text alignment should be aligned with the dimension line. When you come to primary units, let's pick a precision of 0.0 and click on OK. And then we can close that. So once we do that, you can see that our dimension is now visible. So that is 215. Let us dimension for 110 so that we see where 110 is. So let us click again here on the cyan line all the way to here. This is our 110. Let us dimension for 52. So click on the dimension here again. Come and pick it from here and click all the way to here. 52. And then you can drag it. Let us have it here so that way it is visible. Let us have the one for 25. Remember we had a dimension for 25 at the top. So let us pick it from here. You can pick it from there all the way to here. This is our 25. Let us have it as close as possible there. Sorry for that. Let us do that again. Let us delete this. We had said we are going to put all our dimensions from here, from this cyan line, so that we can be able to delete them later. So let me pick it from here to here. This is 25. Let me push it all the way there to the top. Let's pick the one for 75, the one that we just did before we moved here. So 75 is up to where? Escape. Let's pick this dimension. Pick it from here all the way to here. Let's just check where 75 is. Let me do that again. I want to pick it from this particular point. And I'm looking for 75. If something is up, let me cancel this command. Do it again. From here, I'll look for 75. 75 is up to here. We have our 75 there. So we have what we need for now. So escape and then change back to construction layer. So we want to offset again from this 75. We want to offset a distance of 85. So this is what we want to do. From this 75, we want to offset a distance of 85. So just type O for offset, enter. And we want to offset a distance of 85, enter. And we want to click this line, not that line, sorry. Let me just repeat that again, offset, enter, a distance of 85, enter. So from the point where 75 the limit of 75, this one here, we want to offset a distance of 85. Escape. We can go back to dimension layer and insert that dimension so that it's easy for us to be able to tell where this 85 is. So 85 is here. So I'm going to bring this as close to this one as possible. And once I bring it here and I see this square forming, I know the arrows are pointing at each other. So this dimension will be aligned. In case you're trying to do this and you're not able to see this square showing here, just come to the bottom here and click here on snap cursor to 2D reference. Click on this drop down arrow and come and check endpoint, midpoint, center, and intersection. Right, now that we have this, we are done with all the horizontal dimensions. Let us just check. So here we are back to our drawing. We have already offset all these dimensions. They were 10 to 15, 52, 25, 75, and 85. So I want to start now moving vertically upwards. So I want to offset 35 from the bottom, and then 25. And then from the top, I want to offset 35. And then from the bottom to top is 125. So let us do that. Here we are. Let us change back to construction layer. We want to offset from the bottom a distance of 125 to the top. So offset, enter, 125, enter. Click on this button. Remember, it has to be the white line, that is our construction line, and offset a distance of 125. Remember that to switch to construction layer, since we had gone to dimension, we insert the dimension of 85. So from the top bottom, we have a distance of 35. We can have that. 35 from the top to the bottom, we have 35. And also from the bottom to the top. So we have 35 here from the bottom and also 35 from the top. So if you look at our drawing, again, we need to offset from this 35, we need to offset a distance of 25. So escape, offset, enter a distance of 25, enter. So here from here, we offset a distance of 25, and we're done with that. And also from the very top, there's also another distance of 25. This is what we're talking about there. This 25 from the top. From this point to this point is 25. We want to do that one. We've already done this 35. We've already done this 35 here. We've already done this 25 here. So the last one that we want to do is this 25 from the top to this point here. So escape, offset, enter. A distance of 25, enter. So from the top to here should be 25. So escape again. Let us go back to dimension layer and let us insert these dimensions here for our reference. So from here to here should be 25. And have it there. Escape. So let me delete that and have it as close as possible so that I can have room to insert the other dimensions. I want 25 to be there. And then there's also 35 from the top. Remember, I'm again dimensioning on the cyan line. So let's just repeat that one and have it close so that we have room for the other dimensions. So 35 is there. We want to offset 125 from the top to the bottom. That is from this point all the way to this point should be 125. And then from the bottom again, we want to offset a dimension. We want to have this dimension of 25, 35. We can just align it to this one so they appear on the same line. What else? I think we have all our vertical dimensions. Oh, from here to here, we need another 25. So let us dimension that from here to here. There's this dimension of 25. Again, you can align it with that. I think you've noticed how I'm doing that alignment. For example, let me just repeat that once more so that we can see. Let me delete this. Let me pick this dimension. I click on this point here and here. And then I move my cursor up to the point where it aligns with this one. I can see an X and I click there and they will appear to be on the same line. So we are done with that. Now we can move on to coming up with this drawing. So what we do, move to the bold outline layer. Let us check how our drawing is. So this is what we want to draw. I've now moved to the bold outline and I want to start coming out with this outline, this profile. Before I move there, notice there are two angles here, 67 and 63. So I want to also have this in construction layer. How do I do that? So from our drawing, we can see that the distance from one top to the other top is 85. Now this is what we're talking about. From here to here is 85. So I'm going to have an X-line here passing here at exactly 67 degrees and another one here at exactly 63 degrees. So let's do that. Let us go back to the construction layer to add this last step. And I'm going to type XL to get an X-line. And now at the command line, I'm going to choose Angular. And the reference angle I want to start with is 67. Then enter. So you can see my 67 is here. So 67 should be at the top of this 85. You can see my 85 is here. So I follow this line of 85 all the way to the top, this point here. At this point of intersection, I click on it and my line stays there, escape. So that line is at 67 degrees. We shall be able to measure that and confirm later. So the other line that we want to do is at 63 degrees. This one here, at 63 degrees. So let's do that one. So escape that command, type XL, enter, come and choose Angular again. Let us try now typing 63 and see the type of line that we get. Notice you have a line in the same direction as 67, but that is not what we want. So how do we have this line facing the opposite direction? This is what we do. So let us escape that first. Let us go to our calculator and see something. I've just opened my calculator and I want to type 180 minus 63 degrees that we have. And we get that the angle is what? 117. So we're going to use the angle of 117 to have our line facing the opposite direction. So let us do that and see. So here we are. Type XL, enter, choose Angular. And this time instead of 63, we're going to type 117, enter. And you can see our line is facing the direction that we want. So once again, we want to follow this 85 and we want to follow it to the top because that is where this line is supposed to be. So we follow this 85, this point of where 85 begins, and we move all the way to the top, this particular point here. So make sure it is at the very top. 85 is here, and this is our point of intersection, and we click there. Just like that, we have, just a minute, I think we put it at the wrong place. Let's just delete that line. And let us do that again, XL, enter, let us choose Angular. The angle is 117, enter. Then we just pan this down so that I can find the right point this time. So this is the point. I click there and that angle should be at 63 degrees. Alright, now let us move to the bold outline layer and want to now start coming up with this layer. Remember, these cyan lines here, that we only use them for dimensioning and we're not going to use them for drawing. So I want you to come and choose the polyline here and you can start drawing. So once again, have this on a second screen so that as we draw, you can be able to follow through. Start. Click our polyline, come and click at this point, move all the way to the end here, click on it, come to the bottom here, zoom in to get the exact point because there are many lines, click there, and we want to start moving horizontally and we move all the way to the end. That is 215, the entire 215. This is where 215 is. We click there and we want to move up. Let us zoom out and move all the way here to the top where we have 25. So click here, we move a distance of 25 horizontally and then 25 vertically. Move all the way to this point of intersection of 85. Click there. Make sure you're clicking at the correct point by zooming in and out. Come all the way to the bottom at 35, which is at this point here. Click there, and we're going to move all the way here. So click there, and we move again to the top, this point of intersection. Let us zoom in. We click here, and we finally move to this point here where we can. Well, let us end it there, like that. And this is what we have. We already have this profile. Right? To see it clearer, you can come and click here and switch off. There are these bulbs here next to the layers. I'm going to switch off the construction layer, like that. And you can see this drawing. So it resembles very closely what we have. We are not done with it yet. The only difference is we have a curved area here, and then we have a slant here. Alright, but we have the angles you can see. So the top part I think is okay. but the bottom part is where we're going to make some adjustments. So let us switch on back the construction layer and let us do that. So at the bottom here, I want us to use a command. This is the command that I want us to use. I want us to use the chamfer command. Alright, this is the command that I want us to use. So how we use this command is as follows. So this is how we use this command. We're coming to the bottom here. I've zoomed into at the bottom, and I'm going to type CHA, which is for chamfer, and then you'll see chamfer as the first command. Type enter, and then you'll see several instructions here under the command line. I want us to choose the one that says angle, and then we're going to specify the first line. So our first line, the length of our first line is what, 52. Type enter, and what is the angle? Our angle is 30. Type enter. Once you've typed that, it says select the first line. So we're going to select the first line like this, and then click enter, and then now come and select the second line. This is our second line. Once you select it, automatically you'll be able to see a chamfer. The first drawing, we had a length of 52 and an angle of 30 degrees. So that is what we did. We type in chamfer, and then we selected angle. It told us to give the length of the first line. We entered 52, and then we asked us to enter the angle. We entered 30. We selected the first line and we pressed enter, and then we selected the second line, and the chamfer was created. Our chamfer, we already have it. I want us to move on to fillet. We want to fillet this point and this lower point. These are the fillets we have, right? The radius of this one is 20 and the radius of this one is 30. So how do we use the fillet command? So escape to remove any previous commands. Type F. The fillet command should be the very first one you see. Type enter. And then the first, we want to fillet here. So what we're going to do, choose radius. Once you select fillet, you'll have these options at the command line. Choose the one that says radius. And then it says specify the fillet radius. So our radius at the top is 20. So we're going to type in 20 and then enter, and then it says select the first line. So we choose this as the first line, enter, and then we choose this as the second line, like that. And just like that, we'll have our fillet. Let us repeat that for this one here at the bottom. So type F, enter, and then we choose again radius, and then ask us to specify the radius of the fillet. The radius of this one at the bottom is 30. So type in 30, enter, again choose the first line, enter, and then choose the second line. Just like that, we have the fillet. So escape to remove that command. For drawing, we've done the fillets, we've also done the chamfer, we've done this portion here, we've done this portion of the angle. So the only part which is remaining is this one. It is at a distance of 110 from this edge and a distance of 35 from the bottom, and its radius is 25. So let us draw this one. So here we are. I've zoomed in a bit. So it's a distance of 110. So this is our 110 and a distance of 35 vertically upwards. So come and under circle, click on the drop down arrow. Come and choose center radius. Remember our radius is 25. So come at this point, 110 inside and 35 upwards. Select this center. If in case you're not seeing this X, come back, come to the bottom here. Click and make sure these are checked, especially the endpoint, midpoint, center, and the intersection. So let us come back here. So it's a distance of 110 horizontally and 35 vertical. This is the center. And once you click there, it's just going to extend like this. If I move my mouse, it's going to extend like this. So just type in the radius of 25, press enter, and you'll have your circle. Escape. Next, come and pick a polyline. And we want to put or draw lines inside here. So from this point of intersection to this point, escape. Again, another polyline from this point of intersection to this point. Escape. Next, type in the trim command, TR, enter, and we're going to choose the areas that we don't want and delete them. I'm using AutoCAD 2021, and when you're using AutoCAD 2021, you'll just be able to select the areas that you don't want, like this, for example, I deleted, and this other one I deleted. In case you're using an older version of AutoCAD, what you would do is after typing the trim command, for example, TR, enter, you come and select this line that you just drew, right? Once you select that line, and you also select this line. So they'll be highlighted. Alright, for example, if I will just select this line like this, you'll see it is highlighted and also this one highlighted, and then you'd press enter. Once you press enter key, you'll then be able to remove this portion and this portion, and then again press escape. Alright, so we have this drawing here. So let us switch off again our construction layer and let us see what we are left with. So this is what we are left with. Let us compare it to our original drawing and see if we've left anything out. So this is our original drawing. Alright, and we can be able to see we've done this fillet, so we've done this portion here, this chamfer, this section here, the two angles. So we have done everything that is required. The only part which is remaining is the dimensioning. So that is what we want to do. Before we do that, let us delete the dimensions that we have. So here we are. Everything has been done. We've been able to draw this. You can have it side by side with the drawing that I displayed earlier. And you can be able to see that every portion has been done. So let us switch back on the construction. Or before we switch on the construction layer, let us delete these ones, alright? Let us delete these dimensions that we use for construction purposes. So just select it and press the delete key on your phone, on your laptop, or on the desktop, whatever computer you're using. We select and delete, We've removed all of them. Come back here, switch on the construction layer, and move to the dimension layer. Let us insert these dimensions exactly the same way they are demonstrated on the drawing. So exactly like this. This is how we want to dimension it. So here it's required that you have the drawings. You're able to look at it physically as you dimension. So I have my drawing physical that I'm looking at it from another screen. So I come and pick this dimension, and the dimension from the top here to the bottom is 125. We have it there, and that is the only dimension that appears on that side. So I've taken it very far. I can bring it a bit closer. I thought there were other dimensions we're inserting here. So let's pick this again from this point to this point. You can have it there as 125. Then click here again. Now when you click here, this is a linear dimension and you can be able to see it here. If you want more options, you can come to this drop down arrow and you can see other forms of dimensions. We're going to come to that shortly. So let us pick this one and you can insert our 215. So we pick it from here. Make sure you zoom in so that you see where you are picking it from all the way to here. You can have it as low as possible because in this case we're going to have other dimensions here. So I can just delete this one and do another one. So from here all the way to here and have it here. So it keeps on moving down. So we can do that one more time so that we have the place we want it. Like this, let me zoom in like this so that I'm able to see it clearly from there to here. We don't want it to go very far, we want it to remain there. Let us insert the one for 110. 110 is again from here all the way to here. So our dimension for 110 is there. And then there's also the dimension of 52. So let's take it from here. 52 is from here to here. I can align it to this one by bringing it my cursor here. And once I see the square, I click on it and my dimension for 52 will be there. Next, there's an angle of 30 degrees. Now, to dimension this one, let us try and dimension. Come and click here and pick on angular dimension. Let us try and pick. Remember, this is a separate layer. This is the bold outline layer, and this is the construction layer. Let us see if it will be able to dimension between the two different layers. As you can see, we are not able to dimension. So what we do, we want to go back to the bold outline layer. And we want to create a line that we're only going to use for dimensioning purposes, maybe from here to here. And escape. We're only going to use this for dimensioning, and then we're going to delete it. Because you cannot dimension two different layers, right? So that now both of these ones are in bold construction layer. So go back to dimension layer, come and pick this angular dimension, and now pick it from here to here, and you can see it now appears. Our 30 degrees is there. So once we have our 30 degrees, I can select this line that I added and delete it, and my 30 degrees will remain. So remember to delete that line that you don't need. So now let us move to this dimension here at the top. We have 25 there. So from this point to this point is 25. Can have it there 25. Come and click here on dimension. If you pick it from here to here again is 25. I can have my 25 here again. So where did my 25 go? It jumped all the way to the bottom. So you can come and delete it, escape, pick it and delete it, and come and put it exactly where I want it to be at the top. Then I pick from here to here. Then I choose where I want it to be. I'll just do that again. I want it to be there. Okay, let us pick now and dimension the one for 75. Again, we're moving from here all the way to here. Should be 75. We can have it right there. Again, it jumped all the way to the bottom. Well, let us come back to it and delete it so that we can have the correct, we can have it at the correct location that we want it, or position. So let me pick the dimension again from here to here. That is my 75. Sometimes it does this, but the thing is that you can just delete it and have it at the location where you want it to be, at the position where you want it to be. That is our 75. Next, let us pick our 85. Let's pick it from this point to this point. This is 85. Come and make sure you can see the square and click on it so that they appear to be in the same straight line. Next, we want to do this vertical dimension from here to here, which is 35. And you can have it here, 35. And there's also another 35 at the bottom. From this center to this bottom is 35. You can have it here, 35. Next, we want to do this angular dimension here and this angular one here. So we can now confirm our angles. Come and click on this drop-down menu. Select on angle. Zoom in a bit so that you can see this angle. From here to here should be 67. And then we pick it again. And from here to here should be 63. And you can see our 63 there. So when we subtracted 63 from an 8, we got 117. We can be able to see that the angle that we were able to draw was 63. So this other angle here is 117. So let us move on to dimensioning this fillet. So let us click here on this drop-down arrow and come and choose radius. So come and click here, this very fillet, and drag it outside. You can see the dimension is 20, the one that we use for the fillet. And finally, this fillet here, drag it outside, and that is 30. So up to here, I think we've inserted all the dimensions. Oh, there's also this last one here. Let us insert that one. We click here, and that is 25. We can repeat that one and put it exactly where we want it. I want it to be positioned right here. So let me do that again. So that is 25. So I have inserted all the dimensions that I need, all the dimensions that are shown, rather. I've been able to insert all of them, and you can be able to see that we've drawn this as per the dimensions that are required. Now, the best thing about this is that you can switch on and off layers. For example, I can come here and now switch off the construction layer. Allow be left with this drawing. I can be able to switch off again the dimension layer. Well, let me select another layer of current. For example, I can have this one here. Let me just do this. Layers. I click on this to see that tick there, meaning it's a current layer. And I can now be able to switch off the ones that I want to temporarily switch off. I can switch off the dimension layer. I can be able to see clearly my drawing. I can switch off as many layers as I want. So something I've realized we've not done, since this is a circle, it should have a center line. So we have a center line here. We can be able to use it. So let us switch on these layers again. I want you to go back to the construction line there. And I want you to also choose a few lines here. I want us to choose this line here, passing through the center. So I'm just going to click on it. You can see it has been highlighted. Come to the construction line, this drop-down arrow for the layers, and come and choose center line layer. Automatically, that line moves to the center line layer. Escape. Again, I'm going to choose this line vertically passing through the center. I'm going to click on this drop-down arrow, and I'm going to click on center line. and automatically it becomes a center line. So escape. We can see this. So let us switch off our construction layer and see if it remains. So we'll come here. So I want to select this as my layer reference. Come and switch off the construction layer and also the dimension layer so that we can be able to see. So you can be able to see that we've been able to put these lines as center lines, meaning they are passing through the center of this circle. And you can see it is a thin chain line, the one we selected when we were setting up our layers in the previous class. So up to here, our drawing is complete. So what you do, ensure that when you want to submit, all the layers are switched on like this, so that the examiner can switch off the layers and be able to see the work you have done. So our work is done. Let us make a few changes here. Come to text layer. And I want to change a few things here. For example, our title is dimensioning, so I won't change that. Our date, however, has changed. Today is on the 18th. So I'm going to change our date. So I'm going to select it, right click, and text edit. And I'm going to change this to 18th of June. Okay. Cancel. So let me click outside. And I only have one drawing on this page, so I can come and click here, right click, and text edit. And my drawing is one on this page. So up to here, my details have been captured correctly, my name, everything has been captured correctly. So I'm done with this work. I want to move on to printing. Before I print, I have to save it as a PDF. So one mistake we made, we forgot to save this as a DWG. Let us just save it as a DWG. Let me just cancel that. We'll click here, come and click on Save As. I want to change this to DWG. And we want to move to where we had saved our drawing. This is where we had saved our drawing. And now this is, I can just type dimension 1. Or rather, I can just call it, this figure is called figure 2. And then underscore dimensioning. I can just type scheme. Make sure the files of type is named as drawing, and then I can save that. Alright, so I'll save it. So this is what we have. If you check at the top, it's figure 2 dimensioning.dwg. That is what we have. And now we want to save this as a PDF. So come and hover here and move to the layout. When you come to the layout, you'll notice that your drawing is able to be seen. So at the layout, move to this top part here. You can see this icon that looks like a printer. It is, when you hover around it, it's a plot. Click on it. You'll open this layer and come and click on preview. You see the drawing as it appears. So this is how our drawing appears, right? This is how our drawing is able to appear. And since everything is okay, our name is captured correctly, the date, the drawing number, everything has been captured exactly as is on the drawing. So this is how it appeared on the drawing, and we've been able to capture every detail correctly. There's nothing that we have not captured. So I can now move on to print, or rather save it as a PDF. So I come and close this here, and then I just click on OK. Since we have created the layout later, it is OK. So choose a location where you want to save your work. This is our previous location. We've gone to 101, and this is our document. Notice the files of type has changed to PDF. So the name of the file will be figure 2 underscore dimension. I can delete this layout part, dimension like that, and I can just click on save, and then it is going to export it, and my drawing will be here. So once it appears like this, this is what I'm going to be able to submit. And once it is submitted, this is what will be able to be done. Alright, you can see all the layers are here. So the examiner will be able to see what you have created. Let me just zoom out of it. In case you print it, this is how it's going to appear. In case you submit it as a soft copy, the examiner will be able to switch off your layers. For example, I can switch off the construction line layer, and that will remain. I can be able to switch off the dimension layer so that I can see your drawing. That will remain. I can be able to switch off your center line. For example, even your text, and you can see your text is appearing. I can switch off the border outline and also the bold outline. So the examiner will be able to see if indeed you created layers, or you did something else. So this is how your work will appear. So up to here we've completed our work, and this now comes to the end of our lesson. So thank you for your patience, thank you for your time. I hope you learned something, and you can drop down any comments on any drawing that you want me to draw, so that you can be able to draw and all of us can keep on learning. So thank you for your time and enjoy your day.